You know what? I haven't looked at the stream quality yet on my new house internet. Looks fine. Yeah, I have a problem right now. So one of my monitors died, and the other one, color, um, the colors are just so different from my old monitor. Uh, so like I I cannot tell you how to fix it yet. It's like one of these Samsung Odyssey ones with that has like G-Sync and 180 hertz refresh rates. It's nice, but the colors all look weird, and I have not screwed around with it enough to like figure out how to get it to like look more normal or at least closer to my other monitor. Because right now when I like switch OBS from one screen to the other, it looks totally different. Anyway, we're working here because we don't have, um, you know, we've got until like 8:15. So this is our current to-do list. We're pushing for Saturday as like a demo day. Um, because I'm gonna be at like a little handmade software meetup where I'm gonna be showing the game off to a bunch of other guys, see how that turns out. Um, and giving a build to some friends. So this is like what we have right now. The physics collisions like are actually working, frictions working. Um, this main or this short thrust with the recharge is at least there. It needs tuning because it doesn't feel 100% right yet. But this is like the idea of our whole goal for this demo is to execute on the idea of this tutorial level, basically, of of just teaching you how to how to start thinking with gravity, right? Um, so what we need to do, there's a couple of things. Um, I have all this crap at the top of my list. The most important things from where I'm sitting, the most is I'm just looking at my coffee. Uh, we have some design things to work out in terms of like how to make this path more obvious. Um, that instead of just going straight up, like what you're supposed to do is go off to the side, then go start building up your momentum and working with the gravity of the planet. So we want to that is the core conceit of this whole operation here. So we have to make that work. But then apart from that, there's a bunch of like random engine technical things that I want, and also this is a design thing of making the camera. The goal is to have it so the player, which is our blue circle, and the goal, which is the purple one. These are always on screen at the same time. So if I like start, really going here, like you'll start to see like the player is going to go off screen, right? Because the camera is just targeting the midpoint between those two circles. Uh, and that's like, that's going to be okay for right now. Um, but yeah, it's really not great. It's not fantastic. You want to always have, I feel like all the important parts of the puzzle on screen at once, and that will at least be like a first pass is doing that. Because like look at it, that sucks. If there's nothing on screen, that is super lame. Um, so yeah, we want to get that resolved. Then apart from that, we want sound. There's no sound right now, and it would be good to at least have it stubbed out. Um, Fixing the rendering pipeline to draw from a texture atlas as opposed to just one texture. So that's something we're going to need at some point. Again, I don't, it's probably not even super critical for shipping. Like, these things are not critical for shipping the demo. Yeah, so we don't really need them. Um, I wanted to have font. rendering and loading, because right now if you look, um, like what happens when you touch the goal is, we transition you to the U1 state, and then basically the controls are locked out. Um, but like and what's supposed to happen is there's like big text on the screen that tells you you won. We don't really need that. I could do any manner of things to that are not that. But this is kind of like what it looks like. Oh crap. Uh, there we go. Yeah. So what it looks like is basically this is like the old version of the game on Ooga Booga, and it's tuned. Wow, it's tuned like so much more slowly than the other one. Now that's kind of interesting. But yeah, like we want to be able to handle multiple sprites here. Um, I'll show you what it's going to be easier to tell you what happens when you lose. Yeah, when you lose, we just draw this text to the screen so that it's pretty obvious. We could do anything else. I could change like the player color or something, or change like the goal color and not lock you out, as opposed to doing that, because that's like kind of lame. Um, but yeah, like that's what these things are in service of. Um, the dynamic memory allocator is so that we can put together strings, um, and go draw them, um, and then actually getting the font rendering working again. That would be those, um, and then the dynamic memory allocating stuff unlocks like the ability for us to do uh, like standard out logging uh, after we build the string, which is something that has been needed. It's been very needed, but again, it's probably not even like the most useful thing for today, right? So for if we want to ship on Saturday, and we're treating this like a real project now, so we're trying to ship here. So let's do change goal win condition stuff. That's gonna take like 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Making the camera zoom dynamically. It's mostly a math problem, I think, of determining what um, the zoom level has to be to fit all of like the puzzle objects that we want on screen. There's going to be some like thinking through that algorithm, I think. Um, that's probably even like the very first thing we want to do. And then I wanted to try adding like a level 2, a second level after you beat the first one, where we really go all out, and we really go all out and try to find like some cool, interesting um, scenarios that you can, or level designs with this gravity movement mechanic, uh, to to just see like how it's working. I just got like a warning, a bitrate warning from OBS. I just want to make sure that this is not crashing out on me. Okay, now Twitch looks fine. Or level designs YouTube with this. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So that would be. I think these are like the actual things that I want to do before I show this off to anybody, and like the rest of this stuff is less important, because like also the goal, uh, or the system here to make sure we're not just wasting our time uh is to like get like is to get the interesting part of the game, like mechanically, um in front of people in like a state where they can really test like how it is as fast as possible. And then if it turns out after all of that it is not a fun game, then that's okay, and we can pivot, we can start working on something else with the current code base. and we just keep going. But that is where we're at. Those are the hopes and dreams for hitting this demo. Um, so I'm going to go grab my coffee right now, and then we will get started with this, I guess, because it will take 2 seconds allegedly. Let's get into it. So I think what we want to do, you can see what I've been working on last couple of days. I think what we want to do is this win state is like so easy to just for us to change here and make it more obvious. I think like all we really need to do is like is so right. So if we do like get player dot color equals color yellow, like this could conceivably just be it. Of like you when you win you turn yellow. And now see that didn't work. Why didn't that work? Interesting. Get player color yellow. Because like this is the actual sprite is white. We're setting but we're coloring it, mixing it with the this color we're passing in. So why would that not like that? That is a great question. So we're drawing the image transform. Oh, have I been totally just relying on this thing being on? That's possible. Color image equals image. Oh, look, this doesn't get propagated to the actual renderer, right? Because this is the UV. I don't know why the UV is a 4. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. Oh, because it's the whole thing. Okay. Yeah, so that will have to change at some point. It'd help if I open the lid. So yeah, I think it's totally just this thing is what we're drawing. Am I stupid? Did I just not rebuild? It's very possible. I didn't rebuild. Okay. All right. Well, we did that. So if you yellow, you win. That is simple enough. Okay. So this is like the last technical thing, and then we have some design stuff. So technical, and we don't have to do this. Like this is all like crap we can throw out. But it would be nice if we figured it out. The problem is I don't really know. Um, I don't remember like how I created this part in the first place. This might be just be like Randy code or something. I think this part is Randy code. Oh, look, we've got our view bot to kick here. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was all Randy code here, this camera stuff. So the world frame, world view is zoom. I want to resume. One. So what? This is so it's basically this is just a transform matrix we're applying on top of it. I don't want to rat hole on this too much because heaven knows how much rat holing we've already. This whole project is just rat hole basically. Yeah, so we are. Well, like, where's this getting used? Is the question. Um. Because I actually don't see where this, like, is consumed. Am I stupid? Because I would think it would turn into world proj at some point, right? Oh, draw frame. Oh, yes. So the camera transform. Camera transform is the actual thing. So you want to see like here, right? Yeah, okay. Whoops. So yeah, there's not like really a it's like a scaling frame, but we don't really have like a great way to describe that relationship unless I think about it. So I'm just gonna leave it, and we will take it off the to-do list for later. Because again, it's not really critical. It is not really critical to actually to do this. Okay, so I think that was good. Good exercise. We rescoped, and now we just have some design problems to do. So like, and I think this one actually is much harder of teaching, the teaching versus making something like cool and crazy. Um, so we can do some pretty easy silly stuff here if we just go to like setup world. So all we really need to do is do like if just like bool level 1 equals false if level 1. Okay, then we do all that junk, right? And then else. This is like the most sophisticated level selector ever. And then bada bing, bada boom. There we go. And now we can mess around with level 2 here. With level 2, I say. There used to be some other entities in here somewhere, but they appear to have all gone missing, so whatever. I think it's still probably fine to have like the player and the planet, like a starting player, starting planet. That's cool. Except now, I think we want to like throw this thing like way off into distance, right? Not times 1. Times 10? So if we look at times 10, what does that look like? Oh, yeah, that sucks. Alright, that's a problem. So we've constrained the size of the level here. Oh, that's wrong. God damn it. So I think the problem is the thrust is so powerful just by itself that you kind of don't need anything else. I think it's that, and it's that. I think it's just that. So let's go find the thrust. Which I think it's like thrust. We'll like have that. Ooh, yeah. So the problem is just is now we don't have enough to overcome gravity at all, right? I'm trying to think. So there's a couple of ways we could solve this, and this is going to be important because this is like the core, I think, um, of how this thing needs to be designed, right? It is either our thrust, it looks like a square wave of like you're like not thrusting, then you are thrusting at whatever thrust rate, um, and then you're not again. Or there's some sort of like build up, right? It's not it is not quite on off. It's like really hot today, so I'm just rolling up my sleeves. Um, and that's what I'm trying to consider right now, because like we need to be do one of two things here. We need to we have several constraints on this. Um, and I think level 1's probably better to do the constraints on. So let's go do that. Yeah. So on level 1, we don't have enough thrust to get up, and we want to preserve this where it's possible to like just get off the ground, but not really to go anywhere after that with this setup. And again, like the thrust, I think like in the real world, like if we look at like rocket thrust curve, like that's kind of like what it really looks like. Is there's like very sharp up. So this is like pretty square wave here, but then like there's like a more like shoot like it's not long because it's not long enough. It like tapers off, right? I think that's what it really looks like. Um, we could even have this too, right? Of of some sort of like higher spike. In doing this, like doing because this would be a change in the model of how our thrusting works. Um, it would make it significantly more complicated, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Uh, but the issue is that however we determine to actually implement the thrust curve is going to um, that's basically like locking in like how we can design uh, levels around it for forever. And that's why like we are here sitting on level 1 tuning stuff is because like this needs to like we're trying to just like create like a very precise situation here of to to encourage creative use of gravity for movement as opposed to just trying to go in the straightest path from A to B. Um, so we can do a couple things just like tweaking like our linear values, right? We can drop the mass down, and I gave the goal mass just so that like you kind of get attracted to it. But like I could drop the mass of the planet like in half, or not in half. This is way less than half if I do this. Um, if I do that, that's by like many factors of 10. Um, we're still, yeah, still not enough to get us off. So 10 to the, let's go like with the yeah, see, so that's too floaty. And again, I want to have like the hope is to have this be is to not fake out the gravity system because like the whole game is contingent on the gravity system being real. Um, like this could be just a bunch of magic state we're checking to see like am I in range? Am I within certain radius of this planet? Then start just applying um, fixed momentum, right? And then like at certain radii, we bump it up or bump it down, right? And I don't want to do that because that is so much less interesting than this. So we're dropping pretty fast here still, and I think that's also like a good indicator of if we want to tweak this. So like I don't know, so like you fall like relatively quickly too. That seemed like pretty reasonable. Our thrust is just not enough to get us up off the ground here. Yeah, I think yeah. Okay, so I think that it pretty much cinches it that like this is our number one priority, not that is fine tune thrust and mass params. Uh, because like this is like what the whole game is actually based on, and it needs to be like we need to have it locked in, you know. Um, so we can keep dropping zeros off of this thing. Yeah, it's so with the thrust that low too, we're just like not we're like not getting enough to hit that sign change. Um, oh God, and like so then that's like a problem with the we can go back to a problem like and treat that as a problem in the physics system too. Uh, But that's like real, right? Of you need to have a certain amount of force to go to like jump to go up off the ground, right? How does this move speed work? This hard coded move speed. Um, I think I gotta invest in that green screen now. Yeah, certainly must. Um, all right. Well, let's try tuning this back up. Okay, see, that's enough to get up off the surface at this point, but it's not enough to. It's still too heavy. Because I think the problem is the thrust lever is just so much more impactful. Because we keep applying it. Because look, if we get back up to, if we do go up to 20 again here, right? Like this is just, it's just so, like you can just go so far off of this one thing that I think any puzzle where, you know, we're that close to where the objects are so close to each other, it becomes like not useful, right? And like, you know, for this teaching one, it doesn't have to be, you know, the because hmm, I think we need to like describe the problem more precisely here of like what is the thing we're trying to do, because I don't think this is quite feels right. So we want to be able to do that. We want to be able to do that. We want that, but we don't want that. We don't want it to be like so hard to just get up off. And we don't want you to be able to like do this slingshot so far so quickly. So how do we prevent that? Um, and I think it's like that like this movement speed maybe is like too high. Yeah, maybe it's like this base movement speed is really high and it needs to be like lower, and then the thrust multiplier is more. That's possible, right? Yeah, because otherwise you're just like dead. Okay, so 1,000 clearly is too much. 1,000 clearly was overkill. Let's see, like 400. Also overkill. Okay, so there we go. We have one. Okay, that seems reasonable. What is this? Oh, let's just. Okay. I think, we have to be willing to consider too that the problem we're facing is one where um like again like this level idea here of the goal and the planet of like this level, maybe it makes more like the goal needs to be further out. We should be considering that. So with this tuning, how different is it from the previous one? And like it's still a good sign that like I actually am like developing like some skill and intuition for the um how the controls work. Of there's like enough there where like I can it's like there's enough of like a game there where I can actually do stuff if the camera would not be so shit. Yeah, that is definitely a problem. Um, of it if it yeah it's maybe like these objects are all too small, so we can try making everything bigger, right? We can try making things a lot bigger. So if we go to set a planet, because everything's scaled off like set a planet right now, right? So if we bump this up, and that's not even that big relatively, but it should be much bigger, right? Then all right, now this is really unacceptable. We need to be zoomed out like so much. Okay, there we go. That's like that's pretty heinous. But I think that is part of the problem, right? Is that like maybe it's so big. But yeah, now okay, we can get in orbit, right? But like this is like how far away we can go, right? And we're like so far now, like we're so that's like the peak of what our potential energy was, right? And so now yeah, it's all kinetic, coming in, hitting the planet, and then we go out to there. And so what is the problem? The problem is like I guess so if we looked at this as a conservation of energy problem, um like we want to we're trying to limit in this puzzle the potential energy or the like the maximum energy in the system. um but the Yeah, the regenerative booster is infinite energy. That is the fundamental problem, I think. Is that it is like you just are keep on adding energy this way. And because it's infinite, you're able to go infinitely far away. That's the fundamental reason why that's happening. Um, is there a way to fix that? We're talking about breaking some laws of physics here. Um, well, at least we had some interesting topics for the stream today. I'm so glad that this is what I get to do in the mornings, is shit like this. This is awesome. Um, yeah, looking up thrust curves and stuff. All right, this planet's a little too big. I want it smaller for now. All right, then we can bump the zoom back in, I suppose. But yeah, I think that's the fundamental issue. Because, like, so so I guess there's a couple of options of, um, one constraint is, uh, we just put a hard cap on, like, the distance away from the planet you can be, or, oh man, I really have to go to the bathroom. So I think, and we're like running out of time. So I think I'm gonna call the stream there. Tomorrow we